Hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. For at the end of the storm is a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown.
Shalom, shalom, Yasharallah. I hope all is well. Hopefully you can hear me decently. I just did a mic check and it sounded okay. It's hot, and where I'm at is the only place that I have to bring this message to you. And boy, I hope that I can convey it to you the way the Most High has shown it to me, because there's so much that will blow your mind, and that is going to equip you to walk this walk out. So I hope also that your ears are turned on. Last night I watched a movie that had been coming up in my feed lately, and I thought about watching it, and I never got around to watching it. It's a movie that I watched years ago. I went to the theater and seen it, and it's called Enemy at the Gates, and it's about World War II, and the movie takes place in 1942, and the number 42 is in that movie. Other than the year, it's stating the year 1942. And other things that I won't get into. Just, if you want, go watch it. I encourage you to do so. But after I watched it, I remembered fandom. And if you've been here for a while, when this whole thing started, somehow I was led to look up into fandom. The first thing I looked at in fandom was and the End Game. The guy from the End Game, I can't think of his name right now. It's escaping me. Thanos. And it's all that I read, and I've made plenty of videos about it. I've got all kinds of pages saved of it, and the whole story of Thanos and the End Game, believe it or not, prove me wrong, you can't. The whole story is about this whole story. The dragon being wroth with the woman and the remnant of her seed. So after I watched that movie, I was reminded of fandom, so I looked up Gate 42, but this is what I found. Prison 42. Now, brothers and sisters, if you've doubted what I've said in the past about this number 42 and about where we are, if you are tuned in right now and you really come because you want to know the truth, if you've had any doubt, that's about to change. I took snapshots of this. I can't go over to Google because it mutes my mic, you should know. But we're going to read this, we're going to look at this, and look at Albert Pike again. And the whole reason that I'm doing this, Abba shows me this in abundance. I have a wealth of confirmation. I'm just trying my best to do my part to relay it to you, because I love you, to save your lives. Okay? So you need to go and do your own homework. And after you see what I'm about to show you, please do yourself and whoever that yourself. I don't want to say your loved ones, because you're probably going to have to walk this walk alone. But just like we heard B.J. Thomas singing, you ain't going to have to walk alone. Abba is going to be right there with you. And what he has in store for you is well worth the trip. So do your homework. But let's look at this real quick. Okay. So I found this, Prison 42. We're going to read through this. Okay? And this is a story of the superheroes of the End Game. And like I said before, that is all a story based on the woman, the dragon being wroth with the woman and the remnant of her seed. And you're going to see that. So let's read this. History. During the superhero Civil War, a group of heroes led by Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, and Yellow Jacket. Now look, if you just tuned in, don't think that I'm some kind of comic book reader, because I am not. I'm just showing you what they have written, what the enemy has planned here for you, okay? I'm just reading this. I don't care nothing about Iron Man and all that stuff, so don't get it twisted. Yellow Jacket created a massive prison in the negative zone to house captured non-registering heroes as they waited for their trials. It was designated Negative Zone Prison Alpha, but nicknamed Fantasy Island, or Wonderland, by inmates. Tony Stark himself named it Project 42, as it had been the 42nd idea out of 100 that he, Reed Richards, and Hank Pym had created following the Stanford disaster. And now, if you go click on all them blue words and go in and look at all these stories, it'll blow your mind. We're not going to do that tonight. We're just going to get the gist of it here. There were portals to it planned for every single state so prisoners could be transported there by the different teams in the 50-state initiative, including one at Rikers Island. It was very clean with sanitation, but extremely heavily guarded, including password changes every 10 minutes. The prison's most notable former inmates was Iron Fist, posing as Daredevil at the time, Cloak and Dagger, Speedball, Prodigy, and Prowler. It was also the setting for the final battle of the superhero Civil War, as Iron Man set a trap for Captain America, but the Captain retaliated by using his planted mole, hulking, to release all the prisoners of 42 who came to his aid. Though in the ensuing battle, Cloak managed to teleport all its superhuman detainees out, it remained as a prison for villains such as Lady Deathstrike and Taskmaster. It takes, right here, this is where we're coming to. Taskmaster was later released to become the trainer of New Initiative recruits, and Deathstrike seemingly escaped to assist in the Purifier's crusade to hunt the Messiah baby. Do you see that? The Purifiers crusade to hunt the Messiah baby. During and after the events of the Skrull invasion, the caretakers of 42 abandoned the prison and left the inmates to take over the facility and disconnect themselves from Earth. 42 and its residents were later confronted by Blastar. If you look up what Nebuchadnezzar named Daniel, it looks a lot like that name Blastar right there, who made himself king of the negative zone and planned to lead an army to invade Earth via 42's teleportation device. Invade Earth, okay? Remember, I've been telling you, the reason we're seeing all this 42, the reason it was related to the southern border, this is an invasion of the strongest of strongholds. That's what this whole thing is about. This is the end game, and we're in it, and we're almost to the end of it. Eventually, one of the inmates, Skeleton Key, betrayed his fellow Earthlings and allowed Blastar and his forces to take over Wonderland. Thanks to the timely assistance of the Guardians of the Galaxy, along with the unregistered superhero Jack Flag, unregistered. That Jack Flag, if you go click on that, that has so many similarities to me that it would blow your mind. And like I said, when I back in the videos I made a long time ago, when I read the story of Thanos, it mentions my hometown, it mentions all kinds of stuff, and that would just blow your mind if you're digging. My mind's been blown. Abba blows my mind, and I used to say this all the time. He blows my mind daily, y'all, daily. Star-Lord was able to escape and warn Reed Richards, Gauntlet, and Baron von Blitzstag, whatever, about Blastar's armies. The gates to 42 were shut down, the gates, and the negative zone was sealed off from Earth after Norman Osborn initiated the Thunderbolts Initiative. The Shadow Initiative was dispatched and successfully retaking 42 from Blastar despite suffering heavy casualties. After the mass breakouts of superpowered criminals from the Vault, does that sound familiar? From the Vault, that the pit opening up and the smoke ascending, the big house, the cube, you should know what the cube is, and the raft, Iron Man began working with Mr. Fantastic on building a prison in the negative zone. If you look into the negative zone, that's basically the set apart place. The negative zone prison, Alpha or Prison 42, was then constructed. The guards were the same Ultra models used as the guards in the big house. When Ultron rebelled, the Ultron guards were replaced with the Shield's agents. Okay, there's one more spot here I want you to pay attention to. If we're right here. Eventually, Annihilus came and led his annihilation wave in an attack on Prison 42. The attack on 42 is on us, the 144. Because of the numbers of the annihilation wave. There's one other thing too. And when it's talking about wave, it's talking about the 57, the 5G whiz, and the jabs, all this stuff. But in Matthew, it talks about there's 14 generations from Abraham to David, I think, and or from Adam to Abraham, and then Abraham to David, and then David to Messiah. That's 42. 14 times 3 is 42. The Avengers had to release some of the superpowered inmates in order to fight them. And that's what this is about too. You need to understand that, like I've been saying, this is a bit shoot. They're funneling they're trying. The Most High wants to bring you to Judah, to Yehuda. That's where you have to come to. But at the same time, the Satan, the enemy, he's assisting you in getting there, because he thinks that when you get there, he's going to annihilate you. Do you understand? But it's all going to be turned over on him, on his head. During the attack, the annihilation wave killed Blizzard, radioactive man. Now, are you seeing these words? And then this one right here, whirlwind. Whirlwind. Now let's go. You just seen Annihilus. I want to look over this again. I want to read this whole thing from Albert Pike one more time to you guys. Because right here, down here in this third paragraph, it says, the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenter of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, all the nations once more divided on this issue will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. Then, listen to this, we shall unleash the nihilist. Mr. Gates, Bill Gates, Gate 42, he is a nihilist. That's what he is. Listen. I shouldn't have to break it all down and explain it to you. Just listen to what I just read and spoke to you. Go do your homework. Get your ass on the highway. But let's read this from the top. The First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia. That all happened, and of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergences caused by the agents of the Illuminati between the British and Germanic empires that happened will be used to foment this war. At the end of the war, communism will be built and used in order to destroy the other governments and in order to weaken the religions. Okay, this second part, I want you to pay attention to this, okay? The Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. This war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed, so that political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel, Israel, where? In Palestine. In that movie I just mentioned at the beginning, Enemy at the Gates, that is talked about. This isn't a lie here. There is no Israel. The only Israel it's Palestine. It's where the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, through the Balfour Declaration, set up their Zionist state. That's their headquarters, okay? Yasharal, the place we read about in the Bible, in the scriptures, where David lived, where Jeremiah walked, and Ezekiel, and all these people, is in America. It's in the western half of America, on the other side of the Rockies. That's why it says right there, they set up the state of Israel in Palestine. Go look at this. I'm not going to read it all to you because it keeps wanting to fade out. I hope you go do your due diligent research, look into this, okay? But this is what I want to talk to you about. We're not going to get to this word right here today in Jeremiah because it's in like chapter 18. We're only going to read 16, maybe 17 today. But that word right there, Major or Magar Misabib. It's huge. This is a song, the lyrics of a song that somebody wrote. I don't know who, I just found it. And we'll talk about it. I don't think we're going to get it in this video. But remember that. Go do some homework. That way when we do come back and touch on it, you'll be ready. You'll be like a studied, astute student. Like I'm trying to be. Ready to feed on the word of the Most High so we know what's going on, what's going down. A lot of us have been thinking the Abba, it's like a frequency, like that wave they're wanting to use to destroy us with. Abba has his own frequency, and we are all tapped into that. That's why we've all been feeling alone lately. And Abba's been showing us that we are gonna have to walk alone as far as our worldly friends and family go. But like I said, like BJ said, he is right there with us. But it's something that you have to wrap your head around it, and you have to swallow it. If you want to live, can you imagine how horrendous outer darkness away from the Most High is going to be, where you will live no more? No sunshine, no peace, no blessing, no love. Can you imagine? I don't want to. Those people who are trying to catch you by your heel and set an ambush for you and for me, they're not worth your eternal life. I'm not saying they're not worth anything. I love my family just as much as you probably do. But if you want to live, you're going to have to follow the plan. You can't bring no one with you. You can't concern yourself to the point of death with what these people who want to set ambushes for you are doing. You can't concern yourself with that. You're going to have to walk this out alone. Let's read this, and then we'll talk about it a little bit, obviously, like we always do. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 1. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, do not take a wife, nor have sons or daughters in this place. For thus said Yahuwah concerning the sons and daughters who are born in this place, and concerning their mothers who bear them, and their fathers who bring them forth in this land. All them people, they shall die of deaths from diseases. They shall not be lamented nor buried, but be like dung on the face of the earth, and be consumed by sword and by scarcity of food. And their corpses shall be meat for the birds of the heavens and for the beasts of the earth. For thus said Yahuwah, do not enter the house of mourning. Pay attention to this, Mishpachah. Neither go to lament or mourn for them, for I have withdrawn my peace from this people, declares Yahuwah. Even the loving commitment and the compassions, all that loving commitment we've learned about that he gives, he's taken it from those people. So there's nothing you're going to be able to do to save their souls. Get on the highway If they follow you, hey, hallelujah. I hope they do. But don't hold your breath. Both great and small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried, and no one shall lament for them, or cut themselves, or make themselves bald for them. Neither shall they break bread in mourning for them, to comfort them for the dead, nor give them the cup of comfort to drink for their father or their mother. Do not enter the house of feasting to sit with them, to eat and drink. Now that, you can attach that to even all these people who claim to be Yasharal. But if you're truly contrite and meek and humble and a lover of Abba and his word and his son, you can see that a lot of those people, you can see their motivation. It's because they want to be seen. They want to be seen as someone who is smart or know-it-alls, and that's just the truth. It's an unfortunate truth, but that's just the harsh reality. They're wanting to celebrate and say shalom, shalom to one another, and they refuse to look at the truth. For an example, like what I'm talking about here, the curse, the pride, which is the curse. They don't believe that pride is the curse because they can't see it, because they have so much pride puffed up with inside of them. They won't look at the truth that the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, it's the way they live. It's the way the whole world lives. It's do what thou wilt, do what you want. There's so much truth that the Most High has shown me, and I've relayed it here on All Esteem, that they won't even look at because it's not popular, because it's not going to give them a girlfriend or a boyfriend, which is one of the big reasons. I applaud a lot of these Yasharal people, Hebrew Israelite people, who came out of Christmas and Easter and all that stuff, but then now they do Hanukkah. They just traded one evil for another. A lot of the reason that they get on Facebook and that they associate with one another is to find a mate. The obedience to Abba Yahuwah is secondary. What they really want to do is they want to get on there and stop by people's doorsteps so they can look this way or that way. I've seen it so much, Mishpachah. It's sad. I'm not trying to talk about them or beat them down. I'm telling you because I love you, and I want you to understand that is the curse that we have to avoid at all costs. And a lot of these people, I've heard this excuse so many times. They'll tell me, "Well, you got to have fellowship. You can't just do this alone." No, Abba told me I'm going to have to do this alone. We've read it. You've seen me read it about it so many times. The majority of the world is doing what thou will. They're following the instruction of the tree, which is worthless. You have to be willing to lay everything down right now. You just seen, don't take a wife. Don't worry about your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, nobody. If you want to live, if not, then go ahead and die, I guess. We read that too last time, didn't we? Those for death to death. But if you want to live, it's gonna suck. I know. Trust me. I hate the thought of all the people I love dearly won't listen. They're stubborn. They follow after their own evil heart. I hate the fact, the realization that they're going to perish. I can't stand that thought. But you know what trumps that? You know what is paramount above that? My will to live and serve Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, my wonderful Creator. I can't help it if they don't want to. I want to. And this is what I will do. Abba willing. For thus said Yahuwah of hosts, the Most High of Yasharal, see before your eyes and in your days I am making the voice of rejoicing and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride to cease in this place. And it shall be when you declare to this people all these words, and they shall say to you, why has Yahuwah pronounced all this great evil against us? See, and that's what they're going to say. And what is our crookedness? And what is our sin that we have committed against Yahuwah our Most High? Then you shall say to them, because your fathers have forsaken me, declares Yahuwah, and have walked after other mighty ones, and served them, and bowed themselves to them, and have forsaken me, and did not guard my Torah. And you have done more evil than your fathers. For look, each one walks according to the stubbornness of his own evil heart, without listening to me. Do you see? That right there is the description of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's when they ate from that tree, their eyes became open and they realized they were naked, right? Does a deer think he's naked? Or a cow? One of these animals running around that's naked. They're naked as a jaybird. Do they stop and say, oh my gosh, I don't have any clothes on right now? They don't. They never even consider it. And that's how we were at one time. Why is it that we feel naked if we don't have clothes on? Because pride came into us, iniquity. Now we feel like we have to have clothes, we have to do this, we have to do that. We follow after our own stubborn, evil heart. Do what thou wilt. If we truly followed after the Most High's will at all times, we would be like that deer out there in the field in all his glory. You don't look at him as naked. He don't feel naked. He feels right. He's right where he belongs. And that's where we are supposed to be. We do what the Most High told us to do. We don't celebrate Hanukkah so we can give gifts and so our grandchildren and our children will be okay with us. And see, do you see? And everything, all those holidays, all this stuff, it all represents that tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So I shall throw you out of this land into a land that you do not know, neither you nor your fathers. And there you shall serve other mighty ones day and night, where I show you no favor. Therefore see, the days are coming, declares Yahuwah, when it is no longer said, Yahuwah lives, who brought up the children of Yasharal from the land of Mitzrayim. But Yahuwah lives, who brought up the children of Yasharal from the land of the north, and from all the lands where he had driven them. For I shall bring them back into their land I gave to their fathers. Do you see that? That's that highway to peace I've been talking about. This ain't no joke, Mishpachah. Get on the road now. Today, I want to tell you something. I don't know exactly what this means, but I went into the grocery store. I had forgot some mustard, and I went back into the grocery store, and when I was walking in, I got this feeling come over my gut, like an impending doom was right. We were at the doorstep of it. I don't know why. It was like that feeling, like, have you ever Yeah, if you ever knew someone was coming to fight you, or you had to go fight someone, and you went to meet them, and as you got right there to them, that feeling like, oh my gosh, we're gonna do this. This deal's really going down. That feeling, I had that. Or like when you're getting on a roller coaster or something, and they strap you in, and it takes off, and you're going up that hill, and it's like, oh, it's not too bad. It's okay. And then you get to the top, and you realize you're about ready to go down that big drop. That fear that comes over your gut, that's what came over me today. And I don't know why. I can't explain it. But a lot of things are happening right now, Mishpaka. 3 weeks ago, the government issued a warning to all institutional kitchens. That's like prisons, hospitals, stuff like that. Kitchens that make people food that can't feed themselves. They issued a warning to them 3 weeks ago, and they said that you should get a 10-day supply of food in case the supply chain breaks down or whatever. I don't know how they worded it. I can't remember. But 3 weeks ago, they warned them that. But yesterday, they sent them another warning, and they said this is an extreme, urgent warning to all institutional kitchens. Go now and get a 10-day supply of food. Now, they said. Why they said that, I don't know. And then there's been a bunch of earthquakes right on the eastern side of the Rockies. And they're like an anomaly. I watched Mr. MBB33 talk about it, and he watches all this stuff, and he said he's never seen earthquakes along that. But here's the kicker. Those balloons that I've been telling you that's been flying around out there, hovering over, just like the spy balloon that they shot down, the same ones. There's about 5 of them now that's been hovering around there, and right where they have been on flight radar is right where those earthquakes happen. You know, you can take and do with that, do what you want with that info. Go look it up. I ain't making it up. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening right now. And look, you've seen that with that 42. This is no joke. We are in those times, Mishpaka. Now, before I read this next verse, 16 says, "See, I am sending for many fishermen." I want to remind you of the dream that I've told you guys about, that I had when this whole thing started, where I was on, I was walking through like a swamp, a cypress like swamp, and there was other men to my left and my right. We got on this bass boat and we were fishing. Remember I told you about that? Well, there's a reason he gave me that dream. You know, I'm imperfect. I'm an epic dumbass. I'll say things that don't make sense sometimes. I misspeak. My audio sucks. There's all kinds of things that I do that is subpar. You know, that BJ Thomas, he made a song, I think it was in that same album that he released in 1981, where he made a song called "I'm Just a Baby." And I wanted to play that, but it says Lord so much in there, and I love Abba so much, I'm not giving no reverence or esteem, any of it, to Baal ever again, if I can help it. I'm just a baby in this whole deal. I don't have all the answers. I am imperfect in all my ways. But the only thing I could say about myself is that I truly love Abba Yahuwah, and I'm willing to go the distance. I'm willing to die for this truth and for him. I can't this ain't about perfection for me. This is about doing what he's asked me to do. And every time I hit the record button, I'm nervous about how I'm going to sound or what I'm going to say. But I got to do it, and so do you, Mishpachah. You see that? It says, "See, I am sending for many fishermen, declares Yahuwah, and they shall fish them. And after that I shall send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are on all their ways. They have not been hidden from my face, nor their crookedness been hidden from my eyes. And first I shall repay double for their crookedness and their sin, because they have defiled my land with the dead bodies of their disgusting matters, and have filled my inheritance with their abominations. O Yahuwah, my strength and my stronghold and my refuge. In the day of distress, the nations shall come to you from the ends of the earth and say, our fathers have inherited only falsehood, futility, and there is no value in them." That's the only thing that I can tell you right now, Mishpachah, is there's no value in all that I just mentioned. Everything that you might lose your life for is futile. Everything that might deter you or discourage you from hitting the record button, from getting on the highway, from walking that walk out, whatever it is that scares you, it's futile, Mishpachah. You just have to let go, and you just have to go. It doesn't matter. You have to understand, we are all babies. None of us are going to have all the answers. The only answer I have is face down. Giving Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator, all honor, all glory, all praise, and all esteem. Would a man make mighty ones for himself, which are not mighty ones? Therefore, see, I am causing them to know. This time I cause them to know my hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yahuwah, the one and only, baby. It's going to be hard for you to get on that road, but Mishpachah, you have to get on that road. Don't wait. You should already be on it.